Hello, welcome to episode 50 of Ring Takes. Of course, I'm joined by Brian and Lewis, and we have our special guest, John Escobar, joining us again. Thank you guys for joining me. As we get into our Royal Rumble recap, CM Punk's injury, and of course, with big news over the weekend last week, Vince McMahon's exit from WWE officially. He's not coming back. This is pretty much set in stone. He's pretty much done. So without further ado, let's get into our Royal Rumble recap. A lot of fanfare during the Royal Rumble. Me, Brian, and Lewis watched it out at Lewis's place and had a great time watching the Royal Rumble, watching the entrance, watching the show, the spectacle, and of course the Royal Rumble being one of the big four, right? But one of the biggest events, of course, starting up for WrestleMania season. The Royal Rumble, of course, brought us back-to-back winner Cody Rhodes winning the Royal Rumble. And
congratulations. You won your first pick. Your prediction.
It took him an entire year.
Getting my ass kicked in our picks for a full entire year. It finally happened. It finally happened. So, of course, Cody Rhodes coming out. I was watching it at Lewis's house. With Brian, and we were having a discussion. We were like, when's Cody going to come out? Because that was the big discussion going into it. It's like, if he's going to win it, I said if he has to win it, he was going to have to be 1 through 5. Mm-hmm. And then 1 through 5 came out. And he didn't come out. And I was like, the latest he can come out is 15. Anything over 15, it's not going to be as miraculous. It's not going to be the same thing. And right there at 15, Cody Rhodes comes out. And I'm like, we're in the game. We're in the game. We got him. We got him.
You know, as much as Daniel and Brian used to say last year that, I must have an inside person, because I kept getting so many predictions. Yeah. For some reason, Dan's Rumble predictions were very spot on. Don't you think, Daniel?
I don't know.
Not the women's Rumble.
Hey.
Now the women's Rumble. Nope.
We'll be talking about that, but I was close. But what do you guys think about overall the Royal Rumble in itself, the entrance, Cody Rhodes winning, CM Punk returning? What are you guys' thoughts on the men's Royal Rumble?
I guess I'll take it first. I just want overall as a Rumble, I do feel like the men's Royal Rumble was the lesser of the two Royal Rumbles. I thought the women's one was the better one. Like Daniel said, if Cody Rhodes was to win, like we've been saying all year, if Cody was to win, we would have wanted the Rumble victory to be more special than last year's was. Last year he comes out number 30, coming off of injury, ends up eliminating Gunther, goes to WrestleMania. So we're thinking, if he's going to go back to back, he has to top that moment, and they literally cut his entrance in half. He came out at 15.
Not impressive.
Yeah, I mean, he made it to the end. He had an impressive showing. I mean, I don't recall anything in particular that he did in that Rumble that stood out. I do remember him eliminating Gunther kind of similarly to how he eliminated him last year, and getting to the actually going back to the Final Four. As I stated last year when we did last year's Rumble show, I always gauge Royal Rumbles based upon who the Final Four is, because when you look at the Final Four, you can get a good idea of who factors into WrestleMania this year, or you can sometimes take a look at it and see who's getting booked stronger than others. And the Final Four this year were the two favorites in Cody and Punk, with Gunther and Drew McIntyre. So that was a very good Final Four. You could easily have seen any one of them winning and going to WrestleMania. But to see finally have Cody win back to back, and how they pretty much made it very clear. Well, that on Saturday night they made it clear he was going for Roman, and then we got what we got on Monday Night Raw with Seth Rollins' promo. But for Cody to win back to back, is definitely an impressive feat. Now he's going to WrestleMania now. I think we can all agree that It's mandatory that he quote unquote finishes the story at this point because you can't. I don't think you can have the fans go through another year of him not winning the title or saving it for SummerSlam. If he's going to be in that main event spot now, I feel that winning the title pretty much is mandatory. But the men's Royal Rumble, in general, I feel like the one mishap that they had, and this was actually for both Rumbles kind of fucked up the number 30 spot.
Yeah, I agree.
For the men's,
it should have been The Rock, right?
That
was a big miss, Brian.
I was gonna get to that. I was gonna say, as far as funny, everybody's pick made it to the final four, and my pick wasn't even in the fucking match. So I can admit that. I can admit when I'm wrong. I fell for the whole okie doke when Rock came out and made it.
We were sitting there saying The Rock should be number 30.
Yeah, we were saying Rock should be 30, even though Lewis was vehemently against it, saying no. But we thought Rock was going to be number 30, and I just felt that for it to be Sami Zayn was such a drop off. I get it. Sami Zayn had arguably his best year as a character and everything. But no disrespect to Sami Zayn, people weren't expecting that. When number 30 comes out, number 30 needs to be somebody significant, somebody who's a game changer, somebody who you actually know, who you believe is going to come out on top. You didn't feel that way with Sami Zayn. We'll talk about the women's Royal Rumble. I'll really get into that. Royal Rumble. But I feel like that was the only misstep. Some of the good highlights from it. I love the Braun Breaker. They finally unleashed Braun Breaker. The reports are saying that apparently he was the Brock Lesnar replacement, which he had a dominant showing. Me personally, I didn't like the fact that Omos was in it. I felt like that was a waste of time. Like I said on Saturday, we don't need Omos. We have Obafemi. Okay,
Show some respect.
Yeah. No, there is no respect. And mind you, all right. And you're talking about Omos being a giant. One person took him out. That was Braun Breaker. I remember years prior, it took like 6 or 7 guys to get him out, and Braun Breaker did that by himself. So that counts for something. But overall, men's Royal Rumble was very good. We're seeing Cody go to the main event. Like I said, mandatory to win the title. But yeah.
So, pretty much my thoughts on the Royal Rumble. I hated it. So, reality.
Last 2 minutes.
Technical issues here. But yeah, in terms of the Royal Rumble and stuff like that.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
All right. So with the Royal Rumble, my thing, I just didn't like that there was no like big surprises in the men's Royal Rumble. Of course, the women's Royal Rumble was great. I couldn't complain about that one. The men's Royal Rumble was too generic. I felt like it was too like predictable. And it didn't make me feel like I wanted to like see somebody win in particular, which I did, but I didn't really feel it. Even when Punk came out, honestly, even when Punk came out at 27 or 28, I don't remember. But yeah, and I just felt like disheartened. Like I don't know. I just didn't like it. It felt. It wasn't as action packed as usually the other rumbles were. Like the women's rumble was action packed. It was perfect. I think that set the tone. And then when we got to the men's rumble, it just like disappointed me because of the fact that it was just like flat. And to point on Brian's case, the Braun Breaker, that was a great position for Braun. Obviously, the report saying that it was supposed to be Brock Lesnar. I honestly, as much as with the reports and everything like that, it would have been great to see Brock Lesnar in the Rumble, and just to see him face off like with Gunther one more time, just to like build up more hype. So, unfortunately, with the Rumble, you need more star power, and that it didn't have as much star power that we thought it needed. I know Brian was a big proponent in getting The Rock into the Rumble.
Should have been.
Lewis wasn't. I wasn't either. But it would have been great if he was in the Rumble, because I know Lewis is
I
like
just want to say,
he's
he
like
lives
me in the
right down
sense.
the street. He should have been in the Rumble. He could have made a 5-10 minute appearance. He lives right down the street from Tampa, Florida. He could have
I
been in
know,
the
I
Rumble.
know.
What else
But
are you doing?
How old
What
is The
else
Rock
are you
now?
doing?
How old is The Rock now?
Actually, my
Yeah,
bad.
but he should
4 hours apart,
he
but
should have he shouldn't have been. He shouldn't have been.
And just it would have added to the Rumble for sure. And I think in the mainstream of moments, like we got the moments with Jay and Jimmy Uso, like that was cool that they were 1 and 2. We
Yes.
got Braun Breaker in the Rumble. That was a good youth injection into the Rumble, right? And outside of Cody and CM Punk being the last two, we were sitting there like this is kind of dragging on in the last moments. Like it kind of dragged on for a little bit. Like, okay, who's going to be eliminated? We understand that they're trying to build up the thought process behind the two, like who's going to win and keep it even. But it's like it kind of dragged on a little bit, and it just didn't feel like there was enough fire behind that moment to captivate Cody over. And I feel like that was the feeling around everyone decided it. And I think that was
No, and CM Punk should have won. It's just that simple.
Hey.
After what we learned, I mean, good thing he didn't win.
He didn't. Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. And I think that's another thing that they changed it. Cody should. I don't think Cody was the favorite to win going into the Rumble. I think once the ref learned that his tricep, he said tricep, then they Triple H changed the finish in the back. He probably said Cody go over.
Cody Rhodes was going to win the Royal Rumble.
No, he wasn't. No, stop it. Stop
Cody
it.
Rhodes.
You got lucky.
I will say this, and only because the more they kept saying it, probably heard it like 5 times before the men's Rumble. Can Cody Rhodes be the first man to win the Rumble back to back?
They kept mentioning
26 years over and over, and the more I kept hearing it, I'm like, man, you know what? I think they're gonna do it because leading up to this, we did not hear. We probably heard of that Monday Night Raw before the Rumble.
The only person that mentioned the back-to-back was me for weeks.
No, it was Michael Cole. Really, every
Michael.
You guys did not want
just like Stone Cold. Could he win the Rumble back-to-back 2 years
to win back-to-back? You did not want to win back-to-back. And I said,
because look at the record, 26 years. Why would it change now? Why would it change now?
Because it's the right decision.
I guess because Cody is that that multi-dimensional talent now where it's acceptable if somebody was to break it, it's Cody. Okay, the top babyface on the Raw.
Which I'm fine with, but it's like good. But this is what I'm saying. Going back to just how things went last year, it's like how do you go through that same process again? You know,
if he was 1 through 5, it probably would have been better. The fact that
you're right.
No, it would have been worse.
I think it would have been.
I was like, the latest he came out was 15, and that kind of dampened it. If he was 1 through 5 early on in the Rumble, it probably would have added to it. But the fact that he came out at 15, I'm like, that's the latest he can come back to salvage this. But it was just
who I was actually, and I think I was rooting for a little bit was actually Jay because he started early on, and he actually had a good amount of time. And I think what John was saying, it's like, this Rumble, like, there wasn't enough surprises. There weren't a lot of high spots, kind of like last year where you had like the Logan Ricochet spot. You know, you didn't see like big clashes with like, let's say like Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker or like whatever, like Omos and whoever. Like it was just like it was missing a little extra salt and pepper to like give it some
like that oomph.
Exactly.
Andrade did return. That was a bright spot.
Yeah, Andrade was a good return.
Yeah, which I feel like we didn't even get a lot of highlights from that.
No,
we just got a little interaction with the LWO, but it wasn't Santos Escobar mainly.
Yeah.
But he really didn't have a strong showing. He had no eliminations. There wasn't enough They didn't have that powerhouse that came in. Braun Breaker came in and provided a little oomph.
If only there was a giant or someone with such tremendous feats of strength that could have maybe had a lot of eliminations and didn't.
Yeah,
well,
Brock Lesnar.
Why wasn't there somebody in the Rumble doing that?
Yeah, I mean,
you know, we've had guys like Kane, Big Show.
Let's be reasonable here. It was a low elimination Rumble.
I'm sorry, is that man not taller than almost all of them?
Cody Rhodes only had 4 eliminations. Dominic.
Oh, now you want to throw Cody in there.
Braun Breaker has 4 eliminations, and Gunther had.
How many Omos have? 1.
He had 1. Okay, so I mean,
wow.
He got blindsided by Braun Breaker. Okay,
he got
blindsided by Braun Breaker.
Wow,
stuff happens.
You're covering your.
He got blindsided by Braun Breaker. Yeah, Daniel, I remember. I went to Raw live last year on the build to WrestleMania. I saw live this guy Omos pie face the shit out of Brock Lesnar and knock him out of the ring. So you mean to tell me? So you mean to tell me?
You couldn't have gone to 2 people and be like, bye. Bye.
Hey,
I
saw him, man. It wasn't Omos' story at the Rumble. It was Cody Rhodes' story, okay? That's the focus, all right?
How great would it have been to see Omos and Cody in the final, you know?
Oh, my God, no.
David and Goliath's story.
No.
You go too far. Let's not do that.
Hey, there's always next year.
No. CM Punk is next year. 100%. 100%.
Is he?
Yeah. 100%.
I'm out. Other guys from NXT, Carmelo Hayes came in from NXT. I thought it was weird that there were only 7 participants from SmackDown in the Royal Rumble.
I didn't even think about that like that.
Yeah. So what was the number breakdown? It was 7 from SmackDown. How many from NXT and how many from
2
Raw?
from NXT. 1, 2, 3. Omos, Pat McAfee, and Andrade were free agents. Andrade just signed with Raw. Outside of that, 7.
Pat McAfee. Yeah, that definitely was a wasted spot.
Yeah.
Did you hear Pat Mac? He said something about that he wasn't supposed to be in it.
Yeah. Oh, he didn't know he was going to be in it. Yeah.
It could have been a
joke. He didn't know.
So he's climbing.
I also heard.
That's literally just him like improvising stuff.
And I think it had to do more with the Brock Lesnar thing because everybody was. I feel like it could have been, when Braun Breaker came in. I think when the pack going 22?
Yeah, something like that.
22. Yep, 22.
22. So I think. Oh yeah, Brock wasn't. His flight was canceled. I read that report. But that whole thing was weird, man. I don't know. Like he tried to be more like of Drew Carey, like a Drew Carey character. Remember when Drew Carey went to the Rumble?
Yeah, funny. I watched that Rumble back beforehand. Yeah.
And he threw himself out. Yeah. He said no. He didn't want no part of Kane. And he just went out.
I read reports that I guess he was supposed to do something like that similar, but with Brock being in the ring. So it was like he came face to face with Brock, and he's like, "Yeah, this man's a monster. I'm not gonna like even try and like attack him and go after him. I'm gonna just take myself out." But it's crazy. It's how all these things played out in the Rumble, and honestly, I think. If this stuff hadn't happened, Brock being in the Rumble probably would have given the men's like a little bit of extra
life.
Yeah, because it would have been crazy matchups. We could have had the Gunther spot, which everybody's been talking about forever.
We could have had Brock and Rock in the Royal Rumble, and it would have been crazy. That's what it should have been.
It probably would have. It
would have been that would have set it off. Like
they could have recreated that Here Come the Pain, Brock and Rock going at it again,
2002 all over again.
My favorite time period,
See, but here's my thing, and going back to the whole number 30 spot. Punk, we said Punk came out at 27. Mm-hmm. Why not just have him come out at 30 and just swap him and Sami Zayn?
Yeah, that's
it. 30. That would have meant more because it's like, okay, he's one of the favorites. Cody came in at 30 last year, so he might do it. So it makes booking sense to me. So I don't understand why, why they thought Sami Zayn being number 30 meant something.
You know who should have came out at 30? Trick Williams. I was waiting for Trick Williams to come back.
No, that would have
I
been bad.
was waiting for Trick Williams. I just wanted to hear that. Brian was talking about it for the longest time. I'm like, yo, if we get to hear that intro at the Rumble.
No, it would have been great, but not at 30.
Yeah, give me like 25, 27.
Yeah, like around 25, 20
He should have been in the Rumble. He should have been in the Rumble.
He should have had Ricochet
alone.
spot.
Just the entrance alone would have been fun.
Ain't nobody was happy with Ricochet in the Rumble. Everybody was like, "Why?"
No, hell no. Nobody cared. I only cared about the wife, man.
Because you look at Ricochet kind of similar to Rey Mysterio in the sense of like he's acrobatic as hell. He does these impressive feats. So when you see him, it's all love, it's all positive because you know what you're gonna get. But that was the one time when you saw him and you was just like, "Why are you here?" Like, no, not this spot. Like we're expecting bigger names now, not you.
He's someone who definitely needs a character change. If anything, give him King Puma or something because this Ricochet's character is just not like he's a high flyer and great, but his character needs a little something.
I was trying to see who had the most 30. Who has had the most number 30 entrants in the Royal Rumble? Like, because back in the day, even on the video game, it used to be X-Pac. If you played WrestleMania 2000 back in the day,
2000, yeah,
it was X-Pac.
Yeah, the 2000 Rumble. Yeah,
I'm just trying to see if there was any correlation, but there isn't. But the men's Royal Rumble was a little underwhelming just because of we were looking for those moments, right? We were expecting Brock Lesnar, we didn't get Brock Lesnar. Some of us were expecting The Rock, we didn't get The Rock. We didn't get those big Titan moments in the Royal Rumble that we usually got, even though we got Bronson Reed was in there, right?
He was in there.
So we had some big guys that were in there that should have been in there and had more impact, but it just felt a little underwhelming. I got the result that I wanted because it's the most traditional route to get the WWE Championship. But it is what it is. The Royal Rumble is in the books. Let's move forward to the women's Royal Rumble. Bayley punching her ticket to WrestleMania.